The moon hung low in the night sky, casting a dim glow on the winding road that cut through the heart of the dense forest. Marcus, a seasoned truck driver, gripped the steering wheel as rain splattered against the windshield. The sound of raindrops tapping on the metal roof of his truck provided a steady rhythm, soothing his nerves as he navigated the isolated route. Marcus had heard the stories about this particular stretch of road, how travelers often spoke of strange occurrences and unsettling encounters while passing through the forest. He'd always been skeptical, dismissing them as mere superstitions woven from the threads of an overactive imagination. Yet, as the miles rolled on, an uneasy feeling crept over him, like an invisible presence watching from the shadows. The forest seemed to close in around him, the trees like silent sentinels lining the road. He shook off the feeling, attributing it to exhaustion and the eerie atmosphere created by the rain-soaked night. Still, he couldn't help glancing into the rearview mirror every few minutes, as if expecting to see something that shouldn't be there. As the road twisted and turned, Marcus caught a glimpse of a figure standing on the side of the road, partially obscured by the trees. He slammed on the brakes, heart racing, and peered out into the darkness. A woman emerged from the shadows, her clothes drenched and hair matted against her face. She looked lost and terrified. Relief flooded through Marcus as he rolled down the window. "Hey, are you okay? Need a ride?" The woman's eyes met his, and a shiver ran down his spine. They were devoid of any emotion, like two empty voids staring into his soul. She approached the truck, her movements unnaturally slow, her gaze unbreaking. As she neared the truck's window, Marcus saw her lips part, but no sound emerged. He felt a growing sense of dread, an instinct telling him that something was deeply wrong. Without thinking, he hit the gas, tires squealing as the truck surged forward. He stole one last glance at the woman in the rearview mirror, only to find her already receding into the darkness. The forest seemed to come alive, the trees whispering secrets that only Marcus could hear. He drove faster, determined to put distance between himself and whatever malevolent force had crossed his path. But no matter how far he drove, the feeling of being watched persisted, an unshakable weight on his shoulders. Hours later, the rain finally began to let up. The first rays of dawn broke through the thick canopy of trees, casting long shadows that danced across the road. Exhausted and on edge, Marcus pulled over to catch his breath. As he stepped out of the truck, he realized he was standing at the edge of a clearing. In the center stood a weathered gravestone, its inscription worn by time. The name etched onto the stone sent a chill down his spine. Eleanor Hawthorne, lost to the woods. The pieces fell into place in Marcus's mind. The stories, the woman, the eerie feeling. He had encountered the spirit of Eleanor Hawthorne, a soul forever trapped in the forest that had claimed her life. The realization left him breathless, his skepticism shattered by the cold fingers of the supernatural. With the sun fully risen, the forest appeared less foreboding, as if the night's terrors had retreated with the darkness. As Marcus drove away from the clearing, he couldn't help but glance one last time at the trees that had concealed so many secrets. He knew that he would never forget the night he passed through those haunted woods,